Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, August 20th. Welcome to another episode of Together San Diego. I'm your host, Luis Cruz, Community Relations Director for the San Diego Union-Tribune. Joining me this afternoon is La Jolla Playhouse Artistic Director, Christopher Ashley. Christopher, thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor to meet you.
It's great to be here with you.
Thank you. You won a Tony Award for Outstanding Director of a Musical for one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm talking about Come From Away. Before the shutdown, that show had 5 productions running around the world. And in a Union-Tribune article, you actually mentioned that Come From Away actually reminds you a lot of some of the things going on today. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying nice things about the show. It's very much a show about how we come together and generosity and how we take care of strangers. So I think when live theater is back, I actually think that show is really going to speak to the moment of like, how do we come back together? How do we connect again? And in the midst of all of the Black Lives Matter and kind of anti-racism conversation, the question of how do we create community and really be generous to people who are not necessarily exactly like us or don't share our exact experience. I'm hoping it's going to speak to the moment.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to have you on the show today. What have you been up to now that theaters are closed at the moment?
So our La Jolla Playhouse staff are all working from home remotely. And because we can't do live theater right now, we've really leaned into online programming. Our education programming is all virtual now. For years, we've been doing site-specific and immersive festivals, which we call Without Walls, or WOW. So we've really sort of migrated that all online, and we're creating new shows for the online universe. And that's been really exciting. When you ask artists, what do you want to create for this moment? They come up with unexpected answers.
Yes. All right. Well, before we do talk about some of the virtual experiences that the Playhouse is offering, I do want to, you talked about WOW, Without Walls Festival. I do want to show a little clip of last year's festival, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the current situation.
Right.
So that was last year. A lot of excitement going on. I sure miss those times.
Me too.
Hoping they come back at some point soon. Tell us a little bit about the kinds of programming that the Playhouse is offering now while theaters are dark.
Right. So through our education department, we've continued to do summer programming and programming for youth and virtual labs. We also asked all of the writers who have ever written a pop tour, one of our shows that goes into schools around San Diego, to write a short play that we could gift to the schools to use in their arts and education programs. And that's been really well received by teachers and students alike. But we're now kind of deep in our online programming. Right now, you could every weekend join in a show called The Wizards of Oakwood Drive, which is, oh, nice graphic. Thank you for that. So this is 2 actors performing live. It's a piece for young audiences. And the idea is the 2 actors are young wizards who are competing to be the best wizard, the best spellcaster. And they keep doing spells in the course of the show. And the parents of the young audience members have hidden things all over the house. So the kids run off and discover the impact of these spells. And it really kind of makes magic real and brings it into the home. And it's been I think it's amazing to watch young audiences who are so kind of, cooped up and there's a kind of sameness to so many of these days. It's a completely different experience, and it's been a big hit with the kids and the parents as well.
That's great. You're also working with Culture Clash, I see.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done several shows with Culture Clash live, and we right when the shutdown began, we got on the phone with Culture Clash and said, "What do you want to make now for virtual?" And they said, "We want to make a series of short videos called the Totally Fake Latino News." So they've made 5 of them. We're about to release the 6th, and these have gone wide and kind of gone viral in a way that I really exceeded my expectations. Like huge viewership in Mexico and London and kind of around the world. It's the one bright spot for this moment for us is that in what live theater is contained to a San Diego audience, and these WOW shows really have an international audience, which is exciting.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you see that maybe you're reaching an audience that you normally wouldn't be reaching?
So many new people to, what's the marketing term is new to database, right? So many people who have not been part of our universe before who are now connected to us in some way.
That's awesome. Now, to date, the Playhouse has sent 33 shows to Broadway, winning 38 Tony Awards. Can you talk more about the Playhouse's impact on the national theater scene?
I would love to. I'm going to try to stay humble with this because I think the Playhouse throughout its history under Des McAnuff as artistic director and Michael Greif and Annie Hamburger have had a history of really having a big impact on the national theater scene. Jersey Boys started at the Playhouse and has gone around the world. Come From Away, as you mentioned, has expanded into 5 productions around the world. So it's really satisfying to see these shows that are created at the Playhouse go on to make a mark. The shows that come out of the Pop Tour, which plays to San Diego area primary schools, have really gone on to be printed and other productions all around the world. And I think our audience really takes pride in being a kind of a hothouse or a seed bed for new and exciting productions and tracking where does the show go after it's created at the Playhouse.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the La Jolla Playhouse and Jersey Boys had a connection. Jersey Boys was another one of my favorite shows. Talk a little bit about this show and how that came to be.
Jersey Boys. So this is Des McAnuff, the former artistic director who also directed it. And it's the story of these 4 musicians, all their original music, the 4 seasons. And it does this kind of really smart theatrical idea of all 4 of them narrate different bits of it, and they don't agree, right? I mean, their perspective on what happened and how they came to be and what was the important details are really not in agreement. So you're getting this kind of fractured, different perspectives on the sort of rise and fall and re-rise of the singing group.
Yeah, the music was awesome.
Yeah.
You had a couple of other shows here that we've talked about before we went live here. You were in the middle of a production called Fly.
Yeah, so there were 2 shows running at the Playhouse, this year's Pop Tour, and on our main stage at the Weiss, a show called Fly, which is Peter Pan from Wendy's point of view. And gorgeous production, very well received. Really was on its way, I think, to being a big moment in the Playhouse, and we had to shut it just about a week after it opened. So this is a picture from it. An amazing actress named Storm Lever, who also was one of the Donna Summers in our production of Summer.
Nice. This show, I saw the billboards for it, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. Kiss My Aztec.
This is Kiss My Aztec, written by, amongst other people, John Leguizamo, who you would know from film and his one-person shows. Yeah, and it's about the moment in kind of Aztec culture when the Spaniards arrive and everything goes down the drain. And it's very bawdy, very, very funny, and very appropriate for this money. It's all about kind of what are those moments of total cultural change, and how do you grapple with them. The opening song is called "White People on Boats," and one of the last lyrics on the show is "The world is getting browner."
Okay. Let's see. There's also a show called Cambodian Rock Band.
Yeah, I was so proud of the show. It takes place in two different time frames. One in Cambodia when the revolution was starting and the Khmer Rouge were taking over, and a second time frame kind of in the now, with a culture and a country trying to grapple with a terrible genocidal rule from years earlier. And it's kind of a rock concert, and it's an exploration of how these characters dealt with that really tough history. And it's a daughter kind of going back and discovering what her father's experience was at a moment. He was sent to a camp, and what happened to him, and in what ways he wants to talk about that and what ways he does not. But the play treads this really amazing fine line between all the energy of a rock concert and all of the really finely acted, difficult details of that history, and it manages to be both serious and energized beyond belief.
It's great to see all these multicultural programs and shows. Diversity is something that is really important to the La Jolla Playhouse, correct?
It really is. I mean, we've really kept an eye on it, on how we program at the Playhouse for many years. I would say that the conversation that's happening across the culture, and certainly in theaters around the country, in what ways can we do better, in what kinds of processes we create for our artists, and what kind of a home we make for them, how we staff, who's on our board, in what way we talk to and welcome diverse audiences. All of those conversations are happening every day and in a very intense way at the Playhouse. So I do think that amazing, diverse group of artists have worked at the Playhouse, and we're in the middle of a conversation about how do we use this moment to truly serve, to be a more progressive, more just theater, and to combat racism.
That's great. We've mentioned all these great shows that you've worked on and the La Jolla Playhouse produces. Why do you think artists choose to develop their work at the La Jolla Playhouse?
Well, everybody wants to come to San Diego, especially in the winter, so that doesn't hurt. We have amazing facilities, beautiful, light, airy rehearsal rooms, 4 very beautiful and intimate theaters. Our production staff can do anything. I was just, when I first got here, I did a production of Midsummer Night's Dream, and I said to the shops, hey, I think I need a grand piano that plays beautifully, and then lifts, floats, turns upside down. A person can be playing it upside down. And they were like, great, let's figure that out. They always say yes. They're always doing something extraordinary. Our dramaturgy staff and artistic staff really are amazing at kind of cultivating the play and the text and helping the play be its best self. I guess the only thing I'd say is our audiences are super savvy. I think they're, from years of watching new work be developed, the questions they ask of the artists in talkbacks and the conversations in the aisles and in the lobbies are exactly the ones that a new project needs.
Yeah. What do you how do you foresee the future of theaters after COVID-19? What do you hope for, or what can we expect?
Well, I'm so hungry for being able to invite an audience back into a theater, being able to sit next to each other, for that moment when human contact is back in our lives. But I think there's going to be some things that are really different as a result of what we've just gone through. I think the online programming, some of that will stay in our lives, and I think in a lot of theaters' lives.
Hmm.
I think theaters have gotten a lot savvier about how to film their work, not necessarily as a replacement for seeing it live, but as an addition to that. And I think like everybody's better at distanced meeting. I think there's going to be a lot less travel to have a meeting. I think people are going to be able to, the Zoom skills that have been developed are going to serve everyone well.
Right, right. No, I hear you on that. You're also very involved in the community. Can you talk about some of the Playhouse's community programs?
Absolutely. So there's playwriting programs. Amazing staff member named Jacole Kitchen runs a veterans playwriting workshop, which some extraordinary work has come out of. We've had the Native Voices reading series at the Playhouse for many, many years, and they're doing extraordinary writing. Our work in the schools, I'm incredibly proud of. I think of anytime I'm having a bad moment, I will ask to go see one of our shows performing for 7-year-olds or 8-year-olds. And I'll go to some cafetorium and you'll watch an audience, a sea of faces that for many of these kids, this is their first time ever seeing a play. And
Right.
just the wonder on the faces of, wow, like as their imagination gets engaged, and as they fall into the story and get involved in the stakes of the character, that excitement and that wonder is why I do it.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And as you mentioned, for a lot of kids, this is their first opportunity to experience something like this. What do you think? How long have you been with the La Jolla Playhouse now?
I am 12 years now as artistic director.
That's awesome. What makes the La Jolla Playhouse so special, would you say?
Wow, I think it's the artists who work at the Playhouse. I think every theater is really defined by the artists who make a home there. And we really do try to be very loyal, and so that the audience has an ongoing relationship with these artists. I think the stories that they tell are bold and emotional and current and constantly surprising. I think the audience, that the loyalty of the audience, many of our audience members have been part of the Playhouse long before I got there. Many of them are, 30 and 40 years into enjoying the work of the Playhouse. And I think the boldness of everyone in our community, I think the board and the staff and everybody on both sides of the footlights are interested in exploring what's new and what's next, and trying to respond to a world that is changing so fast, and keep exploring together what's great about each other and how humanity can take care of each other better.
Yeah. Wow. This is an interactive show. People are watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Debbie Gilbert Roberts says, thank you for this wonderful interview. Thank you, Debbie, for watching. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yes. Now, again, how can people get more information about the programming that La Jolla Playhouse is offering?
So you can go to our website, lajollaplayhouse.org, O-R-G, and all of the current WOW programming is up and available. In addition to the couple I talked about, there's a new show coming from David Reynoso, and if you sign up for that show, you get a mysterious package in the mail that and what's inside helps you watch the show on your computer screen in mysterious and visually exciting ways. I'm going to be a little mysterious about that one. There's a great series called Walks of Life, which is created by a San Diego-based collective called Blind Spot Collective. And they've made audio clips, about half an hour each, 3 short plays. And they're meant to be listened to on your cell phone as you're taking your walk of the day, walking the dog, or getting out of the house. And it's the idea of those is that imagine you had X-ray vision and could see inside the houses and apartments you're passing. It's the lives of the people behind those walls.
Wow, that's amazing. How much do these online shows cost?
Some of them are free. So Totally Fake Latino News, free. Walks of Life, no cost. Wizards of Oakwood Drive and Portaleza, I want to say $25, but you should double check me on that.
All right. Well, we have the website address up there, but that's good. So there are some free events there as well. So that's awesome. I love that. And again, is there anything else that you would like to add, Christopher?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. It's a real pleasure. Thank you for keeping a focus on art, even in these trying times. And I've just been so struck by how in the last 5 months, I think one of the hardest days of my life was the day Broadway shut down. We were in the middle of previews for Diana, a new musical that started at the Playhouse and was just opening on Broadway. That day I shut 9 shows down, 5 Come From Away productions, Diana and a Margaritaville and Fly and the pop tour at the Playhouse. So there was like this complete stop, but so many people have continued to make art in this time. And so many people, even from their homes, have continued to take such extraordinary care of each other. And the conversation that's happening about anti-racism in the world, as hard as it is so many times, seems like there's going to be something productive and something, a better world that people are struggling to find together. So what's better than finding a better world together? That's
great. Tara Ruggieri says the world needs more theater. I could not agree with you more. And I love the fact that you're not letting COVID-19 stop you from still putting on your shows and entertaining people. That's great. We have been chatting with La Jolla Playhouse Artistic Director Christopher Ashley. Christopher, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you. And thank you at home for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Here's a little reminder of an upcoming event we're having, which is the Festival of Books at the end of the month. Hope you'll be able to join us for that. Thank you. The 4th Annual San Diego Festival of Books, the county's largest celebration of the written word, is going virtual. The online event will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on August 29th. Like past festivals, you can expect Q&As and panels with award-winning authors from across the country, such as Walter Mosley, Robert Craze, and Shilpi Samaya Gowda.
I'm Robert Craze, author of A Dangerous Man and 21 other novels. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about Joe Pike, Elvis Cole, and all their other cases at the San Diego Festival of Books on August 29th. Hope to see you there.
I'm Jean Guerrero, author of Hate Monger, my latest book to be released in August. Join me as I unveil the man driving some of the most divisive confrontations over what it means to be American and what America will become. See you on August 29th.
Hello, my name is Matt De La Pena, and I'm an author of books for young people, and I can't wait to be a part of the San Diego Festival of Books. I'm going to share with all of you a picture book, but it's a book that I share with not only elementary school kids, but junior high kids, high school kids, college, and even adults. The book is called Love, and this is the message I want to put out into the world, especially now. So I hope you all will join me at the San Diego Festival of Books.
And for families, there will be a virtual children's stage with readings and activities.
Hi, my name is Sharon Langley, and I'm so excited to share my new book with you, A Ride to Remember. A Ride to Remember, a civil rights story, tells the story of how my community came together to make an important change. I hope you'll check it out and see me at the San Diego Festival of Books. I'm looking forward to it.
New for this year, count on poetry readings, a cooking demo with a Food Network star, art and writing workshops, and an entertainment hour with local musicians.
Hello friends, it's Raquel from Infinite Succulents. Come get your hands dirty with me as we learn all about caring for succulents and creating living art from them as well. You can learn all about it in my book, Infinite Succulent Miniature Living Art to Keep or Share. I hope you can join us for Festival of Books.
For more information on how to attend and how to sign up for our newsletter, visit sdfestivalofbooks.com.